We know that conventional plastics have big drawbacks in their production and disposal, but we also know that they're pretty awesome in their use. Bioplastics may have more sustainable origins and a responsible end to their life, but when it comes to performance, can they ever really compete? What are you doing here? Intro sequence. No, seriously. Just go! I'll be back. There is no fundamental reason why plant-derived polymers should perform any worse than oil-derived ones. In fact, there are a good few instances in which bioplastics even outperform conventional ones. For instance, bioplastics' lower moisture barrier properties, which helps them to biodegrade, makes for great damp-proof sheeting in roofs. The plastic is still waterproof, but on a molecular level, water molecules can pass through. It's breathable. The rain can't get in, but the condensation can get out. And we've all heard of 3D printing. Well, there are two types of plastic used for 3D printing, and one of them, PLA, is a bioplastic. Its lower melting point means it can create sharper edges and is less likely to warp as the product cools. Or tree guards that are put around saplings to protect them from being nibbled. As the tree grows, someone has to go back round and take them all off again. But if you make these from bioplastic, the guard slowly biodegrades. So the tree can break through the guard, which falls to the ground, continues to biodegrade, and fertilizes the tree. Or how about bioplastic parts used in surgery that can be left in the body and slowly broken down by our immune systems? As we rethink how our materials are made, we can also change how they work. But if they're so great, why haven't I seen more of them? Good question. Well, you've probably been using bioplastics for years without even realising it. Sellotape, the perfect material for sticking bits of your own hair to other people's presents. Sellotape is called cellutape for a reason. It's made of cellulose. It's a bioplastic. Oh, ow! And trendy cafes are already using bioplastic deli pots, cutlery, and cups. But what about higher functionality applications? Something that has held bioplastic back is polymer availability. When we talk about conventional plastic, we're actually talking about hundreds of different types of polymers. So plastic works so well because we've developed exactly the right polymers for the right applications. The first oil-based plastic was Bakelite, used as a casing material for telephones, radios, pipes, and jewellery. Next came PVC. This was used for water pipes, electrical cables, and to replace linoleum flooring. A bioplastic, by the way. Then the arrival of our old friend polythene and the invention of the plastic bag. As more polymers were produced, more and more products could be made from plastic. But tell them how this relates to bioplastic. Yes, thank you. Bioplastic manufacturers are still limited to fewer polymer choices. For example, one of the most common bio-based and biodegradable plastics is PLA, polylactic acid. Lactic acid, yes, the reason you should add a cool down to your workout, is produced by fermenting plant material and then polymerized to form PLA. PLA is great for short-life products like biodegradable wrappers, deli pots, and knives and forks, but it has a low softening point of 60 degrees. So PLA is not ideal for high heat applications like coffee cup lids. But this isn't a limitation of bioplastics, just a property of this particular polymer. However, for a long time, PLA was pretty much the only bioplastic game in town. Well, why can't we make new and better bioplastics? We can. We are. But it takes time. Oil-based plastics really took off in the 50s, and so they've had nearly 70 years to develop, but times they are a-changing. There are now bioplastics that can withstand temperatures of over 100 degrees, so you can make biodegradable coffee lids and coffee pods, and the bonding in tea bags. But why aren't we seeing more of these products? That would be price. Bioplastics are currently more expensive than conventional ones. For example, a conventional coffee cup lid costs about 2p. A bioplastic equivalent would cost 3p. With my business hat on, that's a 50% increase. But with my environmental hat, that's just 1p to save the planet. And why do they cost more? Economics, scale, and demand. Oil-based plastics are so cheap because oil is cheap, but also because they are made at large scale. Currently, bioplastics are being tested by brands that put environmental credentials above price margins. For bioplastics to become commonplace, scale is needed to make them economical. If large brands adopt, policy changes, or consumers start demanding alternatives, then prices will drop, and bioplastics could soon be the norm in your shopping bag. And that's the end of this series on our plastic predicament. I hope it was useful, that your questions have been answered, and that you're going out to make better decisions armed with new facts and understanding. The choices we now face as a society aren't easy. And the decisions we make now will affect future generations of humans, as well as the natural world. But the more we can understand the issues, the better our choices will be.